Hey guys, how's it going? So we're gonna be processing through day two of BlizzCon 2015. Maybe a little bit retrospect on the whole thing at the end. Again, we'll just see how it goes. Again, really enjoyed what I had to see for 2 days. But anyways, let's get started. And the first thing that we're gonna talk about is artifacts. And as you can see, this was the pictures, one of the numerous pictures they showed. And basically another kind of tree that we have to deal with. It seems like it's going to be a very, very lengthy process that's going to almost go throughout the entire expansion for most people. Uh, maybe, maybe even everybody. I don't know. Again, they really made it sound like it was a very, very lengthy process to go through and acquire the artifact power that you need to actually get all the all your spec filled up. So you also have these two holes at the top. One is purple and the other one is green, and those are where your relics go. And then once you put your relics in, then it actually can empower. It can actually add a level to some of the spells you have, or not necessarily spells, but specs you have on your tree as well. So if, let's say it's a 3 out of 3. Let's say this one here, I believe, is 3 out of 3. Then if you pick the one that has a spell to it, you can actually make it a 4 out of 4 and then increase whatever that particular spot is actually doing. But yes, overall, I like the concept. I like the idea behind it. I like that it's going to take a while. It's going to make people invest more and more time into it, even though it's not going to necessarily feel like you have to be there and do dailies, which is good as well. It feels like you're going to be able to do all of that whenever you are available to play. Now, if you can't play, that's not going to change much of anything for you. But at least if let's say you have something to do that day, you don't feel an obligation to do this. You can just wait till the next day and or the day after or whatever. So basically, what they said as well is that about halfway through your progression through your weapons, you're gonna get a quest to upgrade that weapon to something better, and that's exciting. Again, I think they really are taking seriously the whole aspect of the story behind all those artifacts, and I cannot be more excited about that. I honestly will do every single one of them if they're good. I just, I mean, and if you think about it, the amount of time it takes to get, I mean, I'm going to be playing those characters quite a bit. They also mentioned that you can actually change spec, and now we don't have dual spec anymore. It's triple, quadruple spec, or dual spec only in the case of Demon Hunter because they only have 2 specs. But however, how many specs you have, you will be able to use all of them, which finally, I mean, it is long awaited, but it's such a good thing to allow people to just go like use the full extent of the character they play. I mean, why should I limit myself to 2? Like, even like some people would use the same one twice. Like I want like an AOE kind of build, and I want a single target build off, like example, elemental. Well, you can't do that, but at least now you have one of each of the main specs, and then you can tweak it from there, which is not that complicated to do in a raid. But anyways, the point is it's getting better, and I'm really happy, especially druids with four different specs. That's a great thing for them. And again, go back to the artifact story and all that stuff. Great stuff as well. Relics. Uh, Again, I was talking about it earlier. You get those. They're usually buy on pickup, and then if you look at the bottom, it tells you which classes can use those, or which specific weapon, depending on what it is. As you can see in the second picture, at the bottom left, you see a green icon around the, it looks like unstable affliction icon. And if you look at that, that tells you that the actual relic at the top is actually increasing that spell, or that spec by 1 more than what it would normally be. So that's how you can actually detect those. If you look actually on the left side, It's where the cursor goes, and it says at the bottom plus 1 rank inherently unstable, and that's what they're showing on the other side. Another thing that I'm kind of wondering about is on the left picture, top corner, it says 15, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the level of the weapon, but I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't have to do with the points that you've got in your weapon. Unless it's saving 15 points, but then again, it makes no sense because you'll see other ones where the tree is pretty much fully taken and it says 40. So I think it's the level of the weapon somehow. I guess we'll know more about that as we go along. Again, this one doesn't have any levels. It has no numbers, and it has very low artifact power. I've kind of been trying to figure that out as I was building this, and again, another picture, a little bit more artifact power now, level 15. Now that's the one I think it's the fully built one right here, and it says level 40, but it's got to be a level because usually that's what those numbers are. But again, how it's related to it, I'm not sure. And then unlocking new colors, that's actually really neat as well. And again, there's a level there as well. You can actually customize your weapon to look the way you want as much as possible, and how you unlock those colors is great as well, where it could be a certain mob, a quest, could be all kinds of things, and I like that they actually are doing that. It doesn't need to be something like, you know, kill 10 cows. It can be all kinds of different things, and it allows you to get those specific colors that you might want. And so people were asking how you get artifact power. Well, from quest bosses, from rare spawns, rare drops, dungeon bosses, raid bosses, winning battlegrounds, arena victories. So I'm assuming there's got to be a limit to how much you can gain, because if not, then people will just do dungeon and dungeon and dungeon and dungeon like forever and ever, unless they don't give much. And even then, I still can see people do that anyway. You know, just like people didn't think that people would go out and get 5,000 time walking badges to get them out, and then some people got it in the first event. So I guess it's people will probably find a way to do it if there's one. And usually WoW is pretty good at leaving at least some kind of way that no one thinks they're going to use, but they are. Yeah. So that's how you gain your artifact power, which goes into your weapon, and then you start picking up different talents and stuff. Then they went on and talked about class features and for your and bonuses for your class hall. And I like that you can actually have armor stands with like your actual like old armor sets that you kept. We'll talk a bit more about that in Transmog as well. But again, like if you have like an entire death mantle set for a rogue, and you can actually put it on an armor stand and put it. I guess what that tells me is that there's gonna be an area that's actually gonna be yours in the class hall, not necessarily gonna be an area where everybody. Well, you can invite people in, but it's not gonna. It's gonna be an area that seems like that's gonna be within the class hall. That's gonna be yours, which I like. I think it's great that you can just go next door and then all the paladins are there, example, and I go back to my little place and then I can do that my thing. Also, there's going to be bonuses. They mentioned something like the hunters being something to do with eagles, where they would have like some kind of different network for traveling that would be a bit better than everybody else. And then there's some other things as well. There's also going to be like class-specific quests, like go and rob three of those guys. That would be something that a rogue would do, or a demon hunter would go and kill demon contracts and stuff like that. I mean, more quests towards more towards your actual class. Makes you feel like you're a demon hunter, or you're more like a shaman or whatever. So, and I think it's great uh, to try to get you more involved towards that. And there's other things that they've done to do that as well, which again can't say enough. Class champions. Class champions are going to basically be within your class hall again, and you're going to see them throughout the expansion, and you're going to learn more and more about their stories and all that. Now, what I wonder is that does that mean they become some kind of a follower, bodyguard type at all? Because I thought that was a great idea in Draenor, but I don't think that's what they're going to do here. I think it's just going to be more like story driven towards those certain people. Which again, the more story you can put into the game, the better. I think that's probably one of the downfall of Draenor is it started well with the story within the leveling, and then it just completely utterly died. You know, you just got to have really good stories and just keep on with them throughout the expansion, which is not easy to do. So yeah, class champions. Oh shit. So here we're going to talk about a bunch of things. Here we go. So they're trying, again, like I was saying earlier, they're trying to really make you feel like you're that class. So with that in mind, they didn't feel like the arcane mage was really you had the feeling that you were really powerful. It felt like you were really weak. So they're trying to remove all these buffs and debuffs that you have to track down and all that. And if you mess up, especially in the case of an arcane mage, you basically are in real trouble, and you don't have much mana. And then the less mana you have, the harder it is to kill anything, because you have to stay within 80-90% mana or so usually to hit decently. The Fury Warrior, they just didn't like that you had to wait for a certain buff to go on the target to use certain abilities to do well. So they're removing all that. They just want to make it simple, like hey, smash buttons and you should be able to kill demons and stuff. So I guess it's a really good idea as well. They are simplifying the game and dumbing it down to a certain extent, but I think it's also going to be more fun for overall everybody. Maybe not for like the top warriors that enjoyed that it was harder on to actually synchronize everything, but again, I think it's a good move overall. Just like Death Knight runes, I hated that freaking thing. I hated it. Never understood it. Never cared to want to understand it. Yet I like Death Knights, but again, it was just a pain in the ass to deal with all those. Now there's 6 runes. They're all the same fucking color, and then you have to manage just the same way that you have to manage your 222. But at least now it's not restricted to, oh well, now you've used all your green, so you can't use this for a while. And no, you have a rune, you can use it. Just make the best use out of it. And then they went through the other sex classes. Survival hunters, which we kind of had we had seen already the Eagle Spear, and it kind of led everybody to think that they're bringing back survival hunters, being melee class with the spear and all the old stuff they had before, and that's what they're doing. So I guess we'll see how that goes. It has the potential to be really really fun to have a melee class that has a pet. So I guess we'll see how that turns out, but there's definitely lots of potential there. Disciplined Priest, they are changing this, and this actually intrigues me big time. I am very, very interested to see that. I think I will actually move myself to Disciplined Priest in the next expansion because of 2 things. Well, because of Disciplined Priest and because of Shadow Priest, which we'll cover in a second. But Disciplined Priests now actually have Atonement, which allows them to actually DPS targets to heal everybody. So I don't know how that's gonna work. To me, that's gonna has to be really hectic to deal with. But if you pull it off, man, that's gotta be amazing, man. The fun. I'm assuming you're gonna put shields everywhere, and to give you time to actually select a specific target to put a buff on, and then DPS a target to actually heal them constantly. But that, I mean, that has so much potential to be a fun, really fun class to play. On top of that, you're doing damage, which in like mythic and stuff like that, if it's a viable spec to use, it's gonna be a ton of fun to just, you know, go out there and damage people as you're healing everyone. Subtlety rogue, they again towards. I agree with that. Everything that they've said, I agree with. Now it's how that's going to translate into the game, but what they're saying sounds exactly what we want to hear. You know, a subtlety rogue should be more like almost like a ninja, like super fast and sorry about that. Going left, right, or whatever, but you don't have to slice and dice and all this fucking shit. Like, you just want to go and you're just there to kill the guy and go with finishers and move really quickly and all that, and stealth multiple times. It's going to be really pain in the ass to kill these guys, it seems like, in PvP. But again, that's the fantasy of being a rogue. You want to be out there like all over the place, like storming 2-3 people, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, and they have all the problems in the world to try to get you. But again, if they do get you, I'm assuming you're going to get hit super hard. But again, just a class that requires a ton of skills because it's super fast action, and if you make one mistake, that will definitely get you killed. But again, I like the double-edged sword, I guess, so that the spec entails. Demonology Metamorphosis, thank God, they're taking that away from demonology. It's not about being a demon, never been. And it almost felt like it was an excuse for not bringing Demon Hunter, but now that they're bringing Demon Hunters, it makes absolutely no sense, and I totally agree with that. Bring this guy more fucking crazy-ass demons, and, you know, that's it. You shouldn't be transforming into one. And then Guardian Druid Avoidance, they're going away from the Guardian Druids that were like all dodge and all that stuff. It never quite worked properly because when they didn't dodge, it got them hit. Anyways, back then, I remember I had a few experiences in top guilds with druids, and it was either they couldn't get hit at all, so you were just over healing the shit out of them because they didn't get hit, and when they did get hit, it was like bang bang, you're dead, and everybody's like, what the fuck just happened? And that's, I guess they didn't like that problem either. So now they're bringing him in line with like pretty much all the other tank classes, where, you know, you're going to be a solid wall of and with a lot of health. So good on them. Then the Shadow Priest, what they're doing is they're bringing a new resource which is called Insanity, and the way they said this, I think everybody was like, I don't know for everybody else, but I know for me, I was like, so where do, you know, Shadow Priests draw their powers from? And then they were like, okay, from the Void, and the Void is created by the old gods. And then everybody was like, what are you saying here? Am I gonna turn into Yogg or something? Like, it just got a little crazy there for a few seconds in anticipation of what he was gonna say. But it's still, I think it's really great. It's a great explanation on how they think it should be. Like, you're just basically working with Insanity, just like, you know, when you fight Yogg Saron, you're basically you can go insane if you just don't know what you're doing in there. And for the Shadow Priest is the same thing. Trying to go as crazy or as insane as possible without going completely insane and losing control over everything. And I think it's got a lot of potential, the way they talked about it, and hopefully they can pull it off this time, and it's not just, you know, a secondary puppet to an Affliction Lock. It just like is its own legit class, and it really has a different vibe to it. So that was all for the classes, except obviously the Demon Hunters. I didn't put anything in here for a reason. I absolutely I didn't I didn't want to play a Demon Hunter at the beginning of the expansion. I wanted to wait. I had all the intentions in the world to do that, and then I looked at the video they had yesterday, just before the Q&A on the game systems. Just before that they showed a little preview of Demon Hunter and all that stuff, and I didn't look at the playable stuff. I just looked at what the presentation had, and it just looks so much fun. The double jump plus the wings, it just looks like you can go everywhere super quickly from mob to mob and all that. And I like the abilities, a lot of like slashes and like moving quickly around, the eye beam and all that. I mean, it just looks like a really fun class to play. I like tanking classes, so that's definitely a pluses because they can tank. And I believe they will get a head start on everybody else. So it will be basically everybody playing Demon Hunters everywhere. Maybe it makes sense to have an army of Demon Hunters when you have a demon invasion to deal with. But again, we'll see how that goes. But I think it does look like a really good class to play for sure. So let's go into the next subject, which is not that one. That is not that one I wanted to talk about. Okay, world drops. So back in the day, they always had these world bosses that had drops here and there that were somewhat rare, I guess, they were hard to get. And this time around, what they want to do is they want to make those rares really something else. And honestly, I don't think it's really about that. That's what they say, but I'm not quite buying that reason. Actually, I forgot. Let's put the two together. So they're gonna make those items legendary now. And this is some of the examples they have. And it says at the bottom, may also contain peanuts. I don't know why they wrote that, but no one actually reacted to it, I guess. But yeah, I don't mind that they are doing this, but I think it's really hiding the reason why they're doing it. What they're doing is they're trying to increase the amount of activities that are going on in the actual world. Because everybody's in a dungeon, everybody's in a raid, or everybody's PvPing. I mean, where is everybody? You know, they're going to be in class halls a little bit now. Like, they really wanted to put people back in the world, and one of the ways to do that is adding those world bosses that drop these drops. And hopefully they're not spawning every hour. I know it's convenient and all that stuff, but it shouldn't be. If you're going to talk about legendary available to them, it should be, especially now with everybody can tag the damn thing. Why do you actually need that? You don't. I would just make them fairly rare, and then there might be some battles between factions to get the ownership of the mob or whatever. That's all good. That's fine. That's competition. That's healthy. But I think it's really about getting everybody to go there, because if you're going to have a legendary, it's going to obviously be something that you really want for your class, and then therefore you're going to start hunting these things all over the place. So again, that's a good idea. I don't know if you needed to make it legendary though. I just think they should have just made that plain and simple an epic, but an epic that's BIS, like clearly a BIS, not like a close or whatever. But really, like, there's no doubt this is your best in slot because of the bionic equip, but not the bionic equip, but the equip bonuses and stuff, right? So again, not necessarily agreeing with the legendary status on those, but again, I like the concept of trying to get the world back up and get people to really go in it and play more than just for dailies. Transmog. So Transmog 2.0, we already had some kind of like an idea of what they were going to do, and obviously they wanted to clean up all of our banks, all of our inventories. God knows that I need that, because all my inventories are filled with all kinds of stuff, because I don't want to delete it, because I don't want to lose it. Now with this, everybody is going to get their collection basically and expand all that. Anyway, so let's go more in details into that. So the wardrobe collection, right? So item appearances are automatically added to your wardrobe as soon as you get a piece of loot and it's bind to you. It is going in there automatically. Once it's in there, you have it forever, and it's account wide. So that's the best part. Like you don't, let's say you get the item on, I got this chest piece on my paladin. Great, awesome, fucking saved. It's in my wardrobe. I log on my death knight. That same armor piece is saved, and I can use it to look like as a look. So again, account wide is bar none something that should be almost applied to a shit ton of stuff they do, because of how many years this MMO has been out and how many people have alts that they care about, but they don't have necessarily the time to go and spend 15 billion runs in ICC to get this one thing, right? Going there once a week with one character is already a lot of time spent. Now at least your time is well spent because you actually save it completely to all your characters on your account. Next, more transmog. And that's the thing. Like there was so many things that he added to this. I think it was Craig that was talking about this. I'm not. Anyways, so all item appearances in your bank, voice storage, and inventory are automatically unlocked. So you have them. They're bind to you automatically. They will go there when you log in. Also, items awarded for every quest you have ever completed. So all those class quests that you have done or whatever, and then you had to pick between 2-3 things, they're giving you all of them. So people were really happy about that. I'm not so sure because I just don't see, they're really old items, and when people realize that they're not that great and that everybody has them, I just don't see how that's gonna be something that people are gonna use all that much. I guess maybe 1 or 2 pieces that may work with a set that doesn't have those specific colors, especially like an example like a red and purple set. Like there's not a ton of gear that has those colors. Maybe like an old item had those colors, and that will give it to them. So for that specific reason maybe, but I guess overall I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's good thinking, and it's definitely nice for those that will want to use them. Okay. You can also save different looks per class specialization. So you have you now that we have tri-spec or quad-spec depending on, or dual-spec depending on your class, you can actually save a specific look for every single one of them. You know, if you let's say it's your tank spec, you want to look a little bit more tough or whatever, so you're gonna pick an armor that maybe reflect that, and then, or it could be like a holy priest versus a shadow priest. Shadow priest is going to be darker, and the holy priest is going to be lighter colors. So as soon as you switch spec, it will switch also your appearance. So again, really good thinking. And also you can also have hidden slots saved per outfit. So if let's say you don't want to show your headpiece on your shadow set, but you want it on your holy set, well, it will actually save that as well. So again, it's those little details that you actually had that makes this so good. I mean, because if you actually do all the major things, the people are going to start nitpicking, and they already nitpicked a lot of that stuff, which again, I can't say enough. Just really, really good stuff. That was the last one. Yeah. So the transmog UI. So if you look at the top, it says the guy's got 16 helmets out of 527 helmets. So there's a lot of work there to do. But that's what I like. I like that you can go out in the world, get everything, and then you can actually transmog and make a set. The other thing, actually, we'll talk about it later because it's in the other slides. But yeah, very simple. Okay, I like this look. I click on this. It basically saves it. You apply it like you applied it before, and then bam, you can actually have a decent looking set, not like this one. Then there's the outfits. So I can save my outfit that I used, and then I can actually send it to my friends, and then it's basically like a recipe list. Hey, if you want to look like me, here's what you gotta is what you're gonna need, and then you send them the outfit link, and then they can actually go, oh shit, this is really tight. I really want this. What do I still need? I need this piece, this piece, this piece, and then it tells you where to get them. So, I mean, it's just, again, that's how you do it. Crafting was a lot more than what I got here, but now I guess if you're a miner or an herbalist or whatever, you don't have to worry about somebody getting in front of you and stealing the node, because the node's going to still be there for you. It's basically everybody has the nodes that are there. So until you harvest them, they're still going to be there no matter what. So I really like that. I think it's a really good idea. I mean, everybody's been, especially as an herbalist, everybody's seen a druid coming flying, Tauren druid flying right behind you, and because you have to dismount and he doesn't, he just steals the node from you and then goes. Well, now you don't have to worry about that, because again, everybody's gonna have the node. So again, really good idea. It just removes some of that stupid like shit that happens when you're trying to get resources. So great. Then if you look at that's a new panel for the crafting. Again, I really like what they've done with the favorite list, where if let's say you're the dude that just crafts flasks or whatever, well, you can put your flask recipes all at the top, so you don't have to go through an entire list of shit that you don't care about. You just go through your favorites. They're all there. The other thing is it also shows you what you're missing. So you can go to, as you can see, there's two tabs. There's the learn and then the unlearn tab. You go to the unlearn tab and it shows you all the stuff that you don't know yet, and then it tells you where to go and get it. So again, really good concept. And also they're reworking also the how you get your patterns and stuff, where it's not all going to be like trainer. Sorry about that. And then just craft meaningful stuff until you get up to the max level. So I really like this. It's a really good way to do it. Long awaited, but again, it's there now, and everybody's going to be, I'm sure, pretty happy about the changes. They also kind of got like a little story going on with your trainer for everyone. So again, I think they're trying to add overall more story, which cannot be a bad idea for sure. Okay, so weapon enhancements. This is actually, or weapon enhancement, enchants. This one also part of the whole transmog thing, where you're going to be able to put the enchant that you want as a look on your weapon of choice. As I don't know, the new one there that we're using for melee looks horrible. I hate it. It's like little purple squares that move around your weapon. I'm a guy that wants to have, that's all, my paladin's all looking like in fire, gear. So why the hell would I put fucking purple circles around my fucking, one-handed weapon with fucking fire on it? It looks ridiculous. Now with this, it allows us to make it look the way we really want it to look, and I think it's a phenomenal idea. Now, that tells you one thing that you should know about. If you're an enchanter, get those mats, man. Go to those raids and fucking kill everything and every fucking thing and get as many mats as you can, because like mongoose and all these stuff, you fucking wait for it. It's coming. It's gonna be every fucking where. Now, mind you, some of those weapons that we already have might already have those, but I don't think it's gonna work with the new system. I think you're gonna actually have to actually, maybe you already have all the enchants. I don't know how that's gonna work, because if you look at the panel here, it seems to show you that here's all the enchants you have. So unless you have to craft it, I don't know. Maybe it's already there, but kind of wondering what they're gonna do with that, like how that's gonna actually unfold. But again, it does appear like based on this that you already have all of them, or maybe you need them once. That being said, really good idea. Tabards. So now, oh yeah, I use this tabard in this set, it looks great, but when I switch to my other spec, and I use the same tabard, it looks like ass. And I don't want to carry 2 tabards or 3 tabards or 4 tabards everywhere I fucking go. I don't want to have an inventory full of tabards either. Now that's going to allow you to actually accomplish all of that by just saving it to your outfit. Don't have to worry about it after that. Really good concept. Something really simple, but again, when you don't do it, that's what happens. Also, I think I'm missing a few slides here. Oh yeah, I missed this one, that's why. Also, your head slot, I already talked about that one. You also can hide your shoulders. So your shoulder slot, if you don't want to see your shoulders, you can hide them. I honestly don't really understand why you wouldn't want to see your shoulders, but I know some people probably want that, but I just love shoulders. Maybe that's why I like orcs so much. They blow them up so big. I just like shoulders. So not having them for me doesn't work, but again, it's another option. More options, the better. That was the one I needed. Actually, it's the same slide. It's just yeah. So, anyways, the only other thing they added was you can also do the same thing with shirts. I never really used shirts, so don't really care about that part. But some people that use them now, they can actually use that part. And obviously, if you use shirts, you probably don't want shoulders. So, I guess it's all working on its own. But again, overall, really good idea of what they're doing. The Q&A was just as good. Lots of good questions. I'm used to School Talk Q&A, which is basically we pick the questions that we don't want people to that we already know we ask when you go to a School Talk thing like that where they do a Q&A, they ask all the questions that everybody knows the answers to that follows the game. So it just hurts the living shit out of everybody because everybody's like, what the fuck are we asking that question for? We already know the answer. They already told us what the answer is. It's been 4 or 5 Q&As now in a row that this question is being asked every single time, but we know the answer to. Why the hell are you doing this? Now, you go here, and I thought there was a lot of good questions. Maybe I'm not as familiar with some others as far as that's concerned, but again, I just felt like everything was already like every question almost, maybe 1 or 2 not so great, but every other questions were like really good, on point, and were putting more emphasis on certain things that they had already mentioned or whatever. But again, I really enjoyed the question period. Thought that was really good. The cosplay, I guess now I'm going more into the overall Blizzcon cosplay contest. I thought was really good. The only thing that I guess I didn't like is that there was some people that I felt almost were disrespectful to the contest. And what I mean by that is like they show up and you can tell right off the bat and they know there's no fucking way they're gonna win that contest, and they're not even playing their character. They're not even in character at all. They just show up and they're like, holy fuck, man, and just show up front and then leave. It's like, why are you in the competing side of the house if you don't even care to actually really try and give a person I mean, you have a few seconds up there, and if you use them to give a persona to your character, it definitely helps you to hopefully get in the top people. Now those people don't even have a costume to begin with, so you would think like the fucking that part would be to the roof because that's their only chance really, and even then that's not gonna really happen. So my whole point there is again, I like cosplay and I like all the different kinds of cosplay, but like, come on, like if you're gonna try to compete, then bring it. And you can't tell me that you don't know that if you go to BlizzCon, the competition is stiff. Because I mean, every year there's always been between 1 to 10, like really up there costumes, and when people show up with like nothing, it's like, why Why bother? You know. Again, and they took all the measures too, because they made two categories. They made one that's for those that want to compete, so those that really have a really good costume. And you're telling me that those people thought they had a good costume? Like, I don't know what planet they were on, but obviously it was not on Earth, because that, I mean, there was no way. Like, hello. Go in the other category, if at all, to be honest, for some of those people. But again, I don't want to talk too much about that, because it takes away from like the awesome costumes that were there. The top three that they had was the same one I had. Like, those costumes were just phenomenal. And then the only one I had different from the judges was the fourth one. I felt one of the Overwatch girls. There was like three or so that were honorably mentioned, and I can't remember the name of that one hero, but like, she's white and has like the wings. I thought she looked phenomenal. The dress was really good and everything. You could tell that there was some thoughts put into it. But again, I just prefer that one to the whatever, the Zerg wing creature thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that was a lot of work too as well. I don't know, I just didn't like it as much. But yeah, overall really good. Maybe, you know, they give all that money towards esports and all that stuff, but maybe they could like double at least the stuff that the money they give for cosplay. Because honestly, like the winner, like that thing was made of leather. Are you kidding me, man? The amount of time that must have taken, like, they deserve a bit more money than what they got. It can take months and months of work. I think it was the second position, the one that finished second. She was saying it took like 2 or 3 months of time, like all in one shot. So that's like, you know, way more time overall, right? Because everybody has to eat and sleep. So again, just so much effort, and I feel bad to see people that show up there and are borderline disrespectful of the whole contest by showing up with something that makes clearly nowhere near the cut, right? Okay, so that's it for the cosplay. And then what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, the PvP finals between SK Gaming and Skill Cap. Both teams from the EU, and honestly, I was watching Cloud9 and hoping that they would win against SK, but they didn't. And then the final happened, and I was like, "This is so close." I picked SK Gaming, and it was really a battle. A lot of the other games felt like it was always like, you know, 2-0 or 3-0, or maybe sometime once in a while there was one game that the team that won actually lost. But like, they were not really, like, sure, they might have been tight games and close calls and all that, but at the end of the day, it always seemed like it was one-sided in some ways, right? Even if the games were close, there was always the same team winning. So, but this final was different, right? Where it went to the final game, and really happy that actually it wasn't like a 2-0 bye-bye or 3-0 bye-bye and out the door. But Jiro was really into it and really trying to bring the crowd in and all that. And really happy, first enhancement shaman that makes it to the final and win. It was also the first time a rogue made it to the final, which I was surprised. I thought for sure there would have been a rogue that hadn't won this before. So mind you, being in the final, but I was baffled when they said that yesterday. Like, yeah, it's the first time a rogue gets to the final. What? Say that again? That doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, again, really good tournament, really good idea. And I'm gonna talk about SWTOR again because that's what I started playing. I started playing WoW. I played SWTOR and then I went back to WoW, but I'm still passionate about SWTOR, and I just want to show what the difference it makes when you use esport the right way. That's what, like, you can do with esports, and that's phenomenal, man. People like everywhere in the crowd cheering and all that because you have an event that's made and tailored for that. And you can't tell me that you can't add that to Star Wars Celebration. They would dig that shit. Oh yeah, we would like to do like our, you know, championship for fucking Celebration in London next year. Are you fucking on crack, man? Fuck yeah, we're gonna do that. Bring it, man. We're gonna fill the fucking arena at the Anaheim's Convention Center or in London, wherever you're going, and then just fucking bring it, man. Like, just do the whole tournament and stuff. Okay, by region, right? Because you don't want to cause problems where people can't attend or whatever. Just a phenomenal tournament, right? And then I watched also the final for Heroes of the Storm, and that I was blown away by that too. And I don't even play it, but I think I might start play a bit more. I played it before and I tried it, but I think just watching that was insane, man. Like the reaction of people and all that was just amazing, and the tactics behind like picking your teams and all that, like just love that. Like it felt like so much fun. And again, I think that's gonna get me to start playing a little bit more Heroes of the Storm. Sorry. Also, they talked obviously a lot about Overwatch, which is coming soon, and I like that they really tried to expand on the lore, and they were just trying and picking at them for any pieces of information and everything. Really, really good stuff. And that's coming soon. What else? Did I forget something else? I forgot to talk about certain things actually. Yeah, within the crafting stuff, they have this new material called Obliterium. Obliterium, basically what it does is let's say you craft, I don't know, 6 rings until you get like the ring with the stats that you need. Well, now instead of having to like auction house or whatever you want to do with the rest of the rings, you can actually like you can actually go to that forge, and I think it's going to be in Dalaran, and then you can basically I guess you can, it's almost like de-enchanting stuff, and then it just basically remove the items, and then you get Obliterium. And with that, you can actually upgrade your ring, so it doesn't feel like you wasted all your fucking time and energy trying to get the ring you needed, and then vendor shit or auction house stuff, or just keep it in your bags because you just don't even care about going to the auction house. Now you can actually use all that material that you spent and upgrade the ring to finally what you wanted. And I think that's a great idea. I hate the fucking system they have right now with the fucking blood that's impossible to get and all that shit. Like, screw that mess. I want something that has a really good base, which is already there with the stage 1. It should be the same thing they should have done with they should have changed the one that that's currently in, and change it right away, because I hate it so badly. Hate it. Never got it up to level 2 on any of my shit. Like you want to make crafting fun, but that's not fun. That's torture, man, trying to find blood and all that shit. Like, I want to get it simple, but I don't want it to be easy either. So that stage 1 was there for me. It was not that easy. It took quite a few days, and then upgrade, and then maybe at the end you can add blood. But like, you could never get to stage 2. What was the point? Okay, so that's one thing. And then scribes, I like that too. You're going to be able to basically use as many minor glyphs as you want, as long as they don't use them on the same spell. Great thing. There's always 1 or 2 things for sure that I wanted to add to minor glyphs, and I couldn't because I was limited in the amount of, only 3, right? So really good. They're removing the major glyphs, which I guess pissed off a lot of scribes like me. But at least they're keeping the good Dark Moon Fair cards, which is great. And if they're easier to upgrade, they will become some kind of asset for sure. And they also add this buff for specific bosses. Let's say you're stuck on Xavius, you can actually get these items made by scribes that will buff you 10% your damage on certain bosses. And it's a weekly buff, and I'm assuming you cannot just use every single buff there is in the world. But what that might do, though, is it might allow people to use multiple characters and use different buffs on every single one of them, so they get 10%. 10% is actually quite good, right? So I wonder what that's going to happen with that, and I can definitely see as time goes by, and your main is already in the fold and all that, I can see people bringing alt and all that and buff them all for different bosses. I can see that happen, especially if the bosses are hard to kill. Uh, Archaeology seems like they're going to be adding a lot of stuff to archaeology, which is good. Uh, I've always enjoyed archaeology. The only thing that at this point I wish they would change is I want them to make archaeology account wide. I hate the fact that I get all these pristine things to put in my garrison, but it's only per account. Like I wish that it's so long to get all the artifacts, or not the artifacts, but the well, that's really what they're called. Anyways, the pristine items. It really is long, and so why can't they make this account wide? I don't know, but that would be a nice little change, and it would help. It would make it a lot more interesting, and it would make it feel like you're going somewhere. You know, I don't necessarily want to always be on my main guy that has archaeology. Sometimes I want to be on my alt or another character, whatever, right? So I think it would help archaeology as a whole to do that. So something maybe for later for them. Cooking probably got the biggest cheers because they're adding crisp bacon. You're gonna be able to cook your own bacon. Fishing. Fishing is a good one too. They said they want to go away from, you know, you're just clicking while watching your secondary monitor or the TV, which who everybody fucking knows is the damn fucking truth. It is. That's what we do. When I'm fishing, I'm fucking just, I have my mouse on the fucking button ready to click, and I'm watching TV, or I'm just doing something else, right? Well, now there might be creatures and stuff that will pop, and then you'll have to kill. So it's gonna basically make you a bit more aware of, hey, there might be something popping anytime. I don't know how often it's going to happen, though. I just don't think that can be that often. So I'm still probably going to do this. I'm just going to turn back as soon as I hear ugh. Obviously, they're upgrading first aid. I hate it. I wish they would remove that thing from the game. I think it's useless. Yeah, I think I covered just about everything I wanted to cover, really. Uh, just again, overall, the whole experience of the e-ticket. If you didn't get the electronic ticket, great value. I've been to Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, same place they are for BlizzCon, and and I know what it is to be in a freaking line waiting forever and all that stuff, and I'm sure WoW was about the same thing. It's a ton of people, and it's hectic as fuck, and you just want to get, you know, you gotta go and eat in between things and stuff. It's actually fairly hot as well, although inside the convention center it's actually fairly good. But again, you really are getting yourself drained throughout the day, and then you go to those panels, you always miss stuff. Like, even if I went there, I would actually still recommend buying the e-ticket, because the e-ticket allows you to see everything that you've missed after, for 2 weeks after the event. So in 2 weeks from today, I believe, or whenever they bring them back on, I think they're on now, you can see everything that you've missed. Because, you know, you might go to see the PvP final and that lasts 4 hours, and now you missed all the panels, everything, and you want to see it for yourself, because obviously some people cannot read between, sometimes they talk and say things, and some people can't read between the lines, and of if it's true or not, or what they meant by what they said. And I definitely rather see it for myself, for sure, to know if that's speaking from somewhere that actually is truth, or if it was complete garbage that was said. So again, e-ticket, great value, and it's not. I was worried about like the quality of the stream and all that stuff, because, you know, there's gonna be tons of people like going on there and watching it, and it's live. But it was great. Even if if let's say there was a skip or whatever, it's like there was a 2-second playback, so it went back 2 seconds from the point it stopped. So you basically heard the last couple of words he said before it kind of stopped, and then just took from there. So it felt seamless, because it never felt like you missed something. But again, it didn't happen a ton, and it was just great quality. Your like the hosts, I think it was Morrison, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but they seem to be very knowledgeable as well. So that's always good. It's easy to pick people to play a game but not know a single thing about it and look like complete fools out there. They at least have added a little bit of an experience of their own. Maybe not the best, but obviously it doesn't matter. At least they had an experience with the game. And like Morrison was talking about how she was in a guild of hunters, like, and then they just attacked Thunder Bluff and without a healer, just a bunch of hunters and all that, and how it was cool and fun and all that. Like just stuff like that, like random stuff that you can't fake. You either are or you aren't. But you know, these guys really, I thought, were pretty good. But yeah, overall, again, like I said, if you have the chance e-ticket next year, get it. You also get the pet and the mount. You also, well, when they were getting all that stuff, they actually had in the corner, they said, okay, if you want to pre-order for Legion, bam, click on this. So it popped right away out of the stream. You just clicked on it and you went and pre-ordered. Pre-order was like this. It was super easy. And then as soon as you do, you get the achievements, and then you can get pet amount. And the other pet you get once you actually use your free level 100. Once you use that, it gives you the other pet, Mercadan. But again, it just great event, great way to do things, great way to really put your games on the map. And it's not the first one around, so I'm sure everybody knows about this, but for me to see this, like when I see what SWTOR did at Star Wars Celebration, really showed me how I'm not fucking making this up, and SWTOR is just completely fucking shitting the bed as far as that's concerned. They just do not know how to hype their game. They do not know how to excite the fans. They do not know how to answer questions, the tough questions, not the ones that they want to answer because they're easy and we already know the answers to. So again, just overall, like, just great stuff. And the only thing I think that you get from going there is what I got from going to Celebration, which is like an overall understanding of, like, we all are fucking nerds, geeks, and we all just are tripping on this one thing, whether it's Star Wars or whether it's is WoW, or whatever it is. Like that one thing, everybody loves that thing, and we just, we're just geeking out about it, going there and all that. And I saw a lot of I saw a lot of the emotions that I saw when I went to the Celebration. I saw them in Blizzcon. But if it's not for that part, if you just really want to get the content and stuff, get the ticket, man. The ticket gets you the best view in the place because you have a camera that's right next to the damn fucking subjects. You see everything perfect vision, so you don't have to worry about Jackass getting up halfway through the presentation and taking his ass time to get through, so you miss half the slide or whatever. Like, you just don't get the asshole from that side of the house. So that's why I kind of really, if you're just going there to get all the information, get the e-ticket. Great. And it's only, what was that, $40? It was great value, really. You don't have to wait and start to check the internet on Twitter and all that stuff that goes crazy during those times to get that information. You can just get it yourself, right? There was other information that was kind of said as well in the Q&A, and people don't know if to take it seriously or not. I think it actually is serious in this case. They mentioned something about a Karazhan dungeon, and I think it actually is true, because when they made their presentation, they showed 5 dungeons. Oops, not 4, but 5. 5 dungeons, but he said there was 10. So something tells me that there will be a Karazhan dungeon, and that what he said there, because I think it was Metzen, and Metzen was just like throwing stuff everywhere, man. He was giving stuff out, like he was super emotional. I think it was because of that Overwatch Q&A. It was like all the questions I've been through in the Q&A for Overwatch, and then he's like, okay, so we're done. And then he's just about to get up, and then he sees this kid, that tiny little kid comes in forward to the mic, and he's like, okay, maybe we have time for one more. So he takes the question from the little boy, and then he just fucking cracked, man. He was trying to fucking hold it, and he just said he leaked some information that he wasn't planning on leaking, Just like, okay, well, you know, because I can't remember the name of the hero, but it's the monkey one. And then apparently his glasses get broken and he gets furious and all that stuff. And the kid wanted to know why. And he actually broke down in the interview with Morrison afterwards. But it was just, again, it's just that passion about something that you enjoy, and that's one of the guys that's in charge of the whole Blizzard thing. So if they get emotional, you can only imagine what other people will feel, right? It was the same thing with Star Wars when they showed the trailer when we were at Celebration, and then they see like the Darth Vader mask like all crumbled and shit, and then you hear Luke and stuff. Like people were just like tears, man. Like it was insane. Like there was like maybe 20 of us watching this on, and we were not at like the arena is usually used for all the live ceremonies and stuff like that. And everybody had gone there. We just didn't think we would. Well, I didn't think there would be enough room by the time I get there, so I just decided, fuck it, I'll just go to the other areas. But then this guy that was from the 501st, which is one of the big division of Star Wars fans, and he was there with his laptop, and like there was probably 20 people watching around his laptop because everyone was kind of like looking from like, you know, from afar, and he's like, come on guys, stop fucking around, let's go. They can come over. So, and then yeah, you could see people were super emotional, and you could see like 40, 50-year-old people, didn't matter, they were all like, holy shit, man, this is awesome. And the same thing against the same phenomenon with WoW. So again, I don't know if I'll go. The only plus thing is it's in Anaheim, so if I guess if you're gonna go, a good idea would be, hey, go to Disney because it's right there if you have a family and all that. So definitely a plus there. But again, the e-ticket costs you a whole lot less, and you get all the information. So unless you want to meet like the Elvins, the, like, you know, Noble, all these guys, unless you want to meet them up in person, Panzer, Picuria, all these people that everybody knows, Twali, Bajira. I mean, there's so many. The list goes on, right? If you want to meet them in person, that's the place to go. But unless that, I guess you can actually manage and get the ticket. So there's a great option for everyone, to be honest. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking. Thanks for watching. Again, you can always follow me on Twitter at DXUN54, and also on YouTube, DXUN54, all letters. Again, thanks for watching.